Assembly. After you wash the block with the water and soap with water, I use the dishwasher soap or washer and soap, whatever the blue thing for the kitchen you guys using it. Wash it really good. Make sure you go with the high pressure hose and go through each hole, so all the machine work pieces, leftovers from the block when they mill it, washed off. Then you blow all holes, especially threaded holes, with the air hose. Make sure they'll blow through. And as soon as you wash the engine, wipe everything off. Use the DW40 and microfiber towel. Just go over each cylinder, just put it. That way it will stay longer without any rust. I have a little bit of rust, but this is not really bad. The block was sitting for almost 2 months. So make sure you do that. If you're planning to sit the block like over 2 months, yeah, put the DW40 oil on the top of it. I will do the oil as well. But first DW40. And just go over the block. I just do it right now, DW40, to clean up the rust I have in the block a little bit, because it was sit in my garage for about 2 months after machine shop. And small spots. This is not terrible. This is normal. Most of the block, they will rust after a couple weeks anyway. It all depends how you treat the block. I think I did like 3 times over 2 months with the oil, and it still got a little rust because of the humidity and everything in New York. Alright, take the micro bright towel or paper towel, clean up until the towel is going to be nice and clean. Then you will be ready for assembly. Make sure every time you finish the job, you put a plastic bag over the block and cover up until you do the other job on the block. So at this point, I cleaned the cylinders, and I'm gonna put the crankshaft, which is right there. So it's ready. Let me put the oil on cylinders right now, and we gotta put the crankshaft. This time I choose the use for all my bearings assembly loop from Redline. Let's try, never used it before, but really good comments from that. So let's do it. Plastic gauge. We will check the bearing clearance on the block side. Then we gotta do another 4 on the bed plate. Here's bearing side, bed plate side, plastic gauge. And the other one is right here. Alright. Alright, so this is the bed plate. They look all the same. Let's see. So we got a little bit over 125. Just a bit, actually it's 125. Let me see. Yeah, 175. Little over 125. 0.25, sorry. I don't know why I'm saying 125. Yeah, 0.25. This is the side we checked. 0.25. And this is the other side of the bearings, which is on the engine side. Oh my god, focus, it sucks. So it's little over 25, maybe like 22, 20. Yeah, they all look similar to me. Yep. Long as they're all identical, I'm gonna be happy, you know. Alright, this one a little bit, that one a little bit smaller. And this side a little bit smaller, so more clearance. Alright. Good. It's hard to move the paper too. God damn it. .25, 0.25 exactly. This one just a little bit. Maybe because I used the old what's the name, the bolts, to just check the clearance. When it's gonna be new one, it's gonna give more impact. But to double check, you can check all of them in here. They all look similar. Okay, let's do it here. A little bit bigger. It's kind of same. Same, 0.25. This one is smaller for some reason. Alright. I'm gonna use RP lubricant for all the bulb. I feel more comfortable with that than oil. Alright, so let's put that thing in. First settings will be, what is it? I think 50, yeah. 50 Newton meter. I forgot how many lbs is that. So let's do the first stage. of the torque. And so we gotta go through 1 to 16 volts. Yeah, step 1 through 16 volts, 50 Nm, and last step will be 90 degrees turn. I'm gonna put a little bit RP lubricant on this seat place too, so it's gonna be more friction to the plate. So I put all the RP lubricant, the thread and the seat place of the bolts. More friction, better torque, tightening torque. Make sure shim is right there, crankshaft, and seems like we all good to torque that down. Let's go. Alright, crankshaft is all torqued down. I usually like to mark each bolt I torque, so I know it's 100% correct. Crankshaft should move free without any force. If it's something you feel it's like forcing, try to redo it and see what is the problem. It's almost about to move by itself. It also depends what kind of loop you use, but I'm using red line assembly loop. Didn't use this before, but try something new this time. Yeah, it feels really good, smooth. Peace. When you complete work for the day, make sure you wrap up the block so all the micro dust and everything are gonna go into the block. The cleanest assemble of the block is always better. I'm doing my garage. I clean everything before, wait for one day to dust go down, and yeah, hopefully you gotta get minimum dust as possible. It's impossible to get rid of all the dust. You need like ultra clean room, like a surgery room or something. But in this kind of case in the garage, it will be small stuff anyway in there. I'll try clean much as I can. So make sure you cover up the engine block. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do, measure each piston, mark it on the top, and then we'll decide which cylinder will go to, like pretty much in the middle of the piston. Alright, so we're ready for set all the rings clearance. It's all depends on your applications, what kind of boost you're planning to run. This particular car will stay with the ported supercharged, so we're not gonna exceed probably more than 22 psi boost. But also he kind of planning to maybe go with the bigger boost, which is required bigger supercharge or turbo. So one of those options he will probably do in the future. So I told him I'm gonna set the ring gaps a little bit wider, not too wide. If I go like 30-35 psi, I will go at least top ring 22 and second ring 25, and oil ring doesn't matter, it's from 15 inches and up. So in his car I'll go with the top ring 0.019 inches and the second ring 0.022, so it will be a little bit more compression, low boost, 93 octane, so it should be fine. So that's the plan. 19 top, 25, 22 second ring, and from 15 and up oil ring. Alright, let's start it. RP 2000s. Ready. That's what I'm gonna use to trim my ring using the Visco sleeve. Alright, so there's many different ways to install the rings. It's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable, whatever you guys do. But the way I'm doing, I mark the front of the engine, so which is right here. This is piston number 1, intake valves. So first you do the oil rings. You put the bottom oil rings on the left side of the first pin, and top of the oil ring on the right side of the first pin on this corner. So this is the bottom ring, and here is the top ring. The second compression ring is located on the intake valves, so which is this side, and the top compression ring is located on the exhaust side, which is right here. Make sure the ring moves freely, not in this, jam or something like that. It should be moved very free. And I don't know how you got it riding, but I'm using this tool. Make sure it's nice and flat, and you go slowly to do your specs. As you see, the ladder and top compression and second ring got ladder and 2, so it means the ladder should facing up. That's how you set the ring for it. When you use this to grind the ring, get the really small file, clean up the ring very gentle, so there is no sharp edges. You go this way, other side, and the back and the front. Make sure it's all smooth and nice straight gap. If the gap is not straight, you have to redo it. Make sure it's all good and smooth. Simple tips. Many different shops, they do that. Okay, one piston is ready. It should move very clearly, free. Remember, all the parts. Make sure you use all the grease, whatever you use, an oil or lubricant. The connecting rods, it depends on what cylinder you're going to. So this is the flat. As you see, one side is wider than the other one. So this side, this one right here, it's supposed to meet another piece of the rod. So two rods each other, touching each other. And this side, it always goes to the crankshaft side. So this is the cylinder number 1. It will be located that way, right? And remember the intake or groove. Don't mix up that. Intake is supposed to be on the top. All right. So it moves pretty good. So yeah, scratch a little bit when I measure that. My bad. Trying to be gentle as possible. Alright. These secure rings, it's a little bit painless to work. One I have, you see, we gotta trim this a little bit, clean up the ring. So usually how I'm doing, I'm putting this way. That side is gonna go down, all the way down. You press with your finger down and use the screwdriver to prime one side of the ring. It should go slight over in. You just have to play around to get used to, but you see where's that little hole over here? So past that hole that much and slide it like I did it in here. See it? Okay, try to explain as much as I can. Sorry guys for my broken English. Alright, so the way we doing is sliding the ring like 1 inch down. I'm doing with the piston usually. Make sure nice and straight, both ends. There you go. That's perfect. So now we can measure the gap we have over here. Like I said, we're going, top ring will be 0.019 inches. Because it's a supercharged, it's not gonna be much boost on it. So we gotta try to keep tight, a little bit tighter gap. If I would do 35 psi and plus, I would definitely go with the bigger gap, like 22, 21. And second ring is within this motor will be 24, 0.024 inches. If it be high boost 30 psi and up, 35 and up, it's probably be 0.026. Just for in case, because a lot of people asking the same questions. That's just the me. You guys can do whatever you want. Alright, that's how we measure the ring gap. Use the dial bore gauge first. Measure your each cylinder, how many dimensions each cylinder, write down somewhere, and then measure your piston dimensions so you know which piston should go cylinder, because some of them it's a little bit larger diameter, like this one, let's say, right? I have a paper when I write down each cylinder the numbers, so I set already by numbers. Voila! That's what we should have it. That's what I already doing. See the difference? These channels it feeds the oil to your head, cams, and other components. Make sure if you do the PCV system, you check this. Some engines come with this already. I think that the older, like first generation of the S4, they have the check valve, but the facelift, they just put this. That's why when the cold start, it's rattling noise coming out from the chain timing cover. So yeah, when you do the PCV system, make sure you have this. If not, just buy that and install. It's from 3.2, or even early version I already have that from 3.0. And I set the crankshaft to the top, which is cylinder number 2, and cylinder number 4 should be all the way up. Here's the lock pin, it's in place. So now I'm gonna take the engine of the engine stand and put all the gears, transfer gears here, left and right side, crankshaft balancer. So we're gonna do first stage of the chain, then we're gonna throw it back to the engine stand and install the heads. Then we can work on the timing chain and everything else. I'll make a video for the next steps of the project. So far coming together really nice. Alright, so I gotta pull the engines from the stand because I gotta do all the timing chain and oil pump and blah 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 blah. So let's go over everything. I already used most of the bolts, like for the tensioners. Those bolts, they're usable. I would be saying you have to change it, but I have no issue with that to do a couple engines. These bolts I keep the stock. These bolts I'll keep the stock. It's simple bolts. But those three and the cam spool, cam gear, you have to get a new one. And cam adjusters, you have to get a new bolts as well. Let me see, where is it? So all these cam adjusters, you definitely gotta get the new ones. So this is the bolts, this is to be replaced. Other than that, like oil pump bolts, nah, you don't have to change that. This one you don't have to. And what else? So I set everything up, put the oil pump gear in place, didn't tight this, only hand tight. We gotta do it at the end by the specs. Put all the pins, and yeah, let's put the engine back in the stand and we go from there. Alright, so here is another generation of the oil pump. This pump, this is the second generation. So if you take the 3.2 engine, third generation of the V6, I believe, they start with the pump like this. So it's like regular mechanical pump with 2 gears pushing the oil, that's all. Like simple construction and use, like it's been using for decade and no issue. All kind of different marks, engines and models, not only Audi. So this is the second generation of the pump. They came for 3.2. They used it for a couple of years, up to I think 2010. Even S4 2010-11 had this pump. And then they got the third generation of the oil pump, which is, they put a little bit different design of that. But I don't know. It's all because of the fuel economy. I believe that's what they did. And 2 stages of the oil pump. So when it's first stage low pressure, it's not much load in the engine. That's how they basically saving the fuel, I guess. That's only one explanation of that. But we're building the high performance engine, which has got all the internal stuff, bevel heads, valves and everything. So we will be more safe with this old kind of type of oil pump. If you just do the regular rebuild the engine, nothing crazy, yeah, just keep that thing. But for this block, we gotta do the, you know, the best what we can do. Engine come together really nicely. Alright, so now we're gonna put the inside the oil pump gear. You have to lock this pin over there, tie those bolts, and other side the balancing shaft bolt. I think it's what was it? I forgot. I think it was 60 and 90 turn. You can take a look at the manual. This one is 15 Newton a meter and plus 90 turn. This one is 80 Newton a meter and 90 turn. And all the rest of them we already set. I have to mark this right now that I did it. And make sure you put the chain on each bank 1, bank 2. I believe, I forgot, driver's side, I think so. Passenger side is chain is longer, not quite remember. Yeah, this one is longer. And when you disassemble, just make sure you put everything, like, you know, bank 1, the head, all the bolts, gears, full and everything, and tensioners and other stuff. Just put in the side and mark that is bank 1, all the parts. So yeah, I torque everything down here. I'm gonna put the timing chain cover back on. When you do that, make sure you put the chain up like this first. When you're gonna do it, put the zip tie or something. Yeah, put the zip tie over here like this. Put the zip tie in here so you can pull it out later. Make sure you know, free access to it when you put the back cover. Otherwise, if you gotta close the cover and it's gonna be down below her somewhere, you're not gonna be able to pull it out. Yeah, let's do it. So that's how it's gonna be. This is just test fit. As I told you guys before, when you send in the block for the machine shop, any purpose to work, sleeve, installation, checkup or something like that, let them give. And if you do the resurface of the block, make sure you take the back cover and send it to the machine shop as well. They have to mill block with this cover, timing chain cover, otherwise it's gonna be stepped in here and you're gonna have a leak. Okay, like this side was milled a little bit and this side it was milled. This one looks like it's didn't do much, so it's perfect this side. So yeah, make sure you do that. This is very important, otherwise you're gonna have a leaks when the head is gonna get compressed. Okay, so back covers, chain cover is back in. Now I'm ready for heads. So this is the ported billet heads with the Fiera valves and Supertech valve spring and retainers. I'm using IRP torque loop. Always put in the thread and put it on the bolt itself and the seat plate, so it's, you know, better friction. Okay, so one head is almost ready. We gotta do this one now. Make sure we clean the gaskets and everything with I use it, like I said, I'm using the brake cleaner. Do whatever you feel comfortable to use it. So these gaskets, it's a little bit smaller than the bore. Sorry, bigger than bore, which is not really a problem. If it would be bigger and overlap the sleeve, then it's going to be a problem. So in this case, it's fine. There is no aftermarket solution for that. Can be ordered, custom made it, but I feel more comfortable to just leave it the way it is, right? Stock head gasket. In this purpose, it's not really bad. So this is the stock displacement versus sleeve block. Forgot to mention one thing. So this block is from 2010 Audi S4, which is the older generation, I would say, right, of the 3.9 TFSI engine, supercharged. Head is from facelift. The head just a little bit different, and the older heads they're using different bolt with the washers. And this head there's no washers. It's like different type of the bolt, and they have seat place for the bolt already machined. I don't think so. There is a it's pressed in kind of, I would say, shim for the friction purpose when you're tightening the heads. So yeah, just make sure what year is your engine. I messed up with this one. I ordered the old one, but he got the build head from the new generation, so you gotta use the different bolts. I think this bolt is stronger than the other one. I use them like my S5 was 34 psi and holds fine. I didn't have any issue with the lifted head. The only issue was my piston. It's give up. Other than that, stock bolts should hold, I guess, up to 34 psi definitely. Full E85. My car was tuned. All right. $50 is my point. A little bit over, should be fine. All right, so just torque the head. So the manual for these bolts, it says install by hand. Number 2, it's originally 40, so I bumped a little bit more. I did 50 Newton a meter and 2 times tight 90 degrees. So do yourself favor, get the marker pen just for yourself. That's what I'm using. So white color, it's first time 90 degrees turn, and the yellow is not second time 90 degrees turn. That way you will definitely not miss anything. This is very important. It's up to you. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, but I'm doing it this way, so feel more comfortable with that. All right, so let's do the second head. All right, so we're ready to put the cams. Make sure you use the loop for the most of the part, all of them. The ring, that's for the camshaft. So that's where you put in the ring. Make sure you get the new one too. The gap of the ring must be facing down on the block, so it's right here, down to the block. So make sure you do that. That's what the manual says. Alright, let's continue. Put the cams, tie that thing in, and do another other side too. Okay, so here's the gap. As you see, it's right here. Yep, it's facing down. Alright, so cams is in place. Make sure you clean the silicone, all the edges when you torque everything up. As I said before, I'm using white and yellow color to new. That way I know that I torque it and all the steps. So first step by hand, then 8 Nm and 90 degrees turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This side, that side, that side, this side, and that. Really simple. Same as other side of the head. After I lock my cams to the timing, and I'm about to install the cam spool and cam gear. All right. Make sure you clean the silicone from here. Make sure you use the degreaser. Clean this very good. No oil, because this is compression type of thing, and there's nothing else to stop. If it's gonna be grease and you tie it, it's possible that will spoon. Yeah, I go over this later. For my 4.0 engine, I did that. I did a little bit over specs for the torquing, because like many cases this spool gear was off by 1 tooth or tooth and a half. So yeah, make sure you clean very nice and good. Degrease that. Make sure, you know, no oil. All right, so we put the gear and cam adjuster. Make sure it's lined up with this race timing. This is the cross over here in the middle here. So usually when I'm doing the count, the pins, it should be 19 pins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So they all good. This is the all by hand tight, so it's movable, you see. What we're gonna do now, tight by hand. What we're gonna do now, we just release this. Release the tensioner, make sure it's tight. Okay, no slack, anything like that, nothing touching. Make sure it's all tight. All right, now we gotta use the tool to hold this and tie the bolts by specs. I think it's big. Let me see. So this is the tool. Yeah, I think it's 80 original. I'm gonna do 90 and plus 90 turn on each of them. All right. Okay, let's count the timing. It's in the dead top. The cams is set. Let's start from this side. So here's the mark. Going here, right in the middle. There's another mark. It's pretty much in the corner of this. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's 19 and a half, 20 after this. And the other side is, the head is more almost in the middle too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 right in here. This is the mark. And 20 over. Alright. Make sure you clean the head side and exhaust side before I put the new gaskets. Yep. Alright, so about to install the flywheel. There is another thing about the flywheels on these cars. As you see, they tap the hole all the way to the crank, so its oil will definitely pass through the thread. You buy this, I'm gonna reuse it. I have no problem before to reuse this, like 4 times I think I did it, no issue. And for you, if you get a new one, even if you get a new one, it will have some kind of Loctite green color, but I'm gonna add another one, the red one, just for in case, to make sure oil not gonna pass through the thread. So yeah, make sure you do that. If you're gonna reuse them, definitely will need something to stop the oil passing through the thread. Okay, otherwise you're gonna have a leak between the flywheel and clutch, right in the belly of the transmission. Yep, small tip. All right, so the engine is in. Most of the stuff, it's already in. I'm waiting for the alternator because the old one makes some noise. I don't like it, so we gotta replace that. The alternator, AC pump looks fine. All the other pumps looks good. Waiting for the gaskets for the fuel, high fuel pressure pump, and vacuum pump. And what else? I think that's it. Just small stuff. So at this time we keep the stock PVC system. PCV, sorry. And sorry, oh my god, PCV, yeah, PCV. And then we, in the future, most like it, if the owner of the car want to go forward, we will do the different system, PCV system. And yeah, at this point it's pretty close to for the first start. As I said before, so this is outlet of the oil line. This is the highest point of the engine with the oil pressure. Pretty much this is the rail for your camshaft and rockers, well, with the lifters. So yeah, I'm gonna use this 4AN line for my pressure regulator, manual pressure regulator. I have to order that too, because we put the 3.2, the first generation of the mechanical oil pump, so the stable pressure all the time, and we will be controlling manually. If I need a little bit more pressure, I will do it. So as you see on the picture, I have 10N fitting. I welded right in the valve cover over there. So this will be oil return line from the pressure regulator. That way, the rest of the pressure that will bypass go back to the engine, to the valve cover. Location of it, we're probably gonna install it somewhere around here, the pressure regulator. And yeah, so the 4AN line is gonna go here. I'm gonna put the oil pressure sensor in here, digital one, and gonna use my body can sensor to monitor the oil pressure, and that way we 100% know what kind of pressure is. I can bump a little bit more than the specs to be safe. It's not recommended to go over, but definitely can put 10 psi, probably like 10-8 psi more as the original pressure on the engine. So yeah, this is the pretty much blood for your heart. You gotta know what kind of pressure is, and this is very important. And the big problem with this engine is the at idle, when the engine is super hot, especially summertime, the pressure could drop up like 9-8 psi. That's what I saw in my mechanical gauge and digital gauge when I play around with those engines. So yeah, it's because it's switching to the low side control of the pressure, and to save kind of fuel, whatever. I think that's what our engineers designed it for. And yeah, I don't like that. I don't like those low and high pressure switch. I'm just gonna use regular mechanical oil pump. It's a fully built engine. It should hold up to 1000 horsepower, no problem. So we do top notch with this build. Put best we have available for this engine. And yeah, in the future we can go push that thing really hard. So yeah, let's wait for some seals. I'm gonna put the front end back in, and like I said, at this point it's gonna be IPR stage 2 ultracharger with a ported blower. We gotta stay like that for maybe half a year or so, and then we will see what's gonna be next, bigger blower or turbo setup. Either way. All right, next video is gonna be a first start. gotta do something with this. Gotta connect the wire. Oil pressure. Second air injection is it. Boost pressure. It's good. Stable. Oh, temp 80. Gotta drive the car, so looks like your LED lights is a little bit. Yeah, you need the new lights. Clean. All the engine bay is really clean. Oil pressure regulator for the engine. Sweet car. Sweet syrup. Monster. It will be monster. Here's the first oil change. So far it looks really good. Not many metal pieces showing. It should sound a little bit anyway. It's gonna be like the oil change. But so far it looks clean. This breaking oil, I like it a lot. I think it works very, very well. Make the engine for 2-3 minutes between 2 and 3,000 RPMs, like 2,000, 2,500, and idling most of the time. So far looks good. Check the oil. Don't see any shaving pieces yet. It's gonna be metal, small pieces, when piston rings will sit properly to the wall. It will be some kind of material a little bit. Should gone off the third oil change or something. Alright, so let's do the change. Second oil change and first oil change, and we can drive the car around. Pressure. This is the idle. 30 psi for my cars warm up. This is 3.2 oil pump. It's way better pressure. Just low RPMs, low load. How it's supposed to be. So here's a little story about this car. If you see this video, means everything was work out good and I fixed that problem. As you know, this Svarog got built more by me. Got the forged pistons, forged rods, bill heads ported with the super tech valves and Ferrera valves, sorry, and super tech springs. So the car was running fine. when I started, I realized that I have a code for the cam position sensor. Play around with the timing multiple times, like 8 times at least, and still getting code. I manage code for the bank 1, then it's jumped to the bank 2 code. So I drove the car just breaking in the engine like that, you know, because it was running fine, no misfires, anything like that. It was perfect, running perfect, just the code. So drove the car for like about 2,000 miles. I did multiple revisions trying to do with the tune. I thought maybe because the heads are using from facelift, which is after 2013, may impact somehow the tune. So my tuner was trying to figure out for like 2-3 months, no luck. So at this point the car got 2,000 miles, it's boosting 20 psi of boost. I did many pulls, everything looks fine, but sometimes I'm getting the code for the bank 2 crank position sensor, I mean cam position, sorry, in coloration. And this will, as soon as that code came in, it will kill the power, went to the safe mode. Usually happens after like 4,000 rpms, I believe, and sometimes by the red line. When you hit the rev limiter, it will switch to the link mode. So yeah, I was driving the car like that because I just want to break it in the engine. I thought maybe tune is gonna help. Nothing helps. So I decide at this point to swap pre-facelift intake camshaft and keep the pre-facelift exhaust cams. Pretty much the same. They're all same. So as you see this side right now, this is the intake pre-facelift from 2010 and up to 2012. So I switched the cams. And this is the original from this head exhaust side. When you pull it out and do something like that, if you go with my way, bring this to the machine shop. Make sure they measure between original head cam and to your cam. You may have to how to say that, polish a little bit, and it's like thousands, 1,000s or something. This side came out really good. I didn't measure that side yet. It's exactly same. And so as you see, I take this side, that side is done, I'm doing this side. I like the engine crank pin is done. Make sure you like the engine crank when you do this kind of jobs. Always don't go by the marks you have existing. No, sometimes you can, you know, overspin or something. It's gonna be a big problem. So you use the lock pin on the crank on the bottom of the engine. I like this side, everything is done, and I just start disassemble everything in here. So as you see, it's super thick wells in there. We gotta take these cams off, intake, and replace to this one. All right. Oh my god, this is the wrong one. This one right here, sorry. I'm gonna get scared a little bit. So this is the original one from that side. I pull it out. I just want to show you, for example, what's the difference. So it's pretty much, they look all same, right? There is no difference. Let me take this off so you're not gonna get confused. This is the other side because you got the fuel pump in here. And yeah, let me pull that. Let me pull this one out so you get exactly same look. As you see it by the design, they look same. The angle of the valve opening and closing is exactly same thing. The wheel trigger for the RPM organizing, it's a little bit different, but overall they look same. They just take the weight off pre-phase. They pretty much they save the weight. They take machine this, they make smaller rocks, I don't know, pushing whatever thing, what do you call it. This is nice solid. And the main difference in this is the cam adjusters. So this is the new one. You got 3 bolts in the front. Last one got 4. This is the old ones. I think it's what engines? I think it's 3.2 got same, the older engine. So here's the main difference on them. The way they supply the oil, right? And it's completely different mounting as well. So my guess, somehow it's related software, the way it's controlled the cam, and it physically can adjust the cam the way it needs on high RPMs and the preface. So you need like totally new ECU, swap ECU from 8.5, I think. So as a experiment, I have nothing else to do. I'm gonna swap this intake cam in here. I'm gonna keep the exhaust cam because they same, nothing wrong with. They're not. There's no difference on it. Just the weight reducing. The only difference in this particular engine is the cam adjusters. So just the way they design it and the way it supply the oil and adjust the whole mechanism inside the chain, timing chain, it's maybe different with the software wise. So we can adjust that. We tried many revisions. I readjust the like 8 times the timing and it's keep popping out. Timing was perfect, like you know. And yeah, so if you see this video, like I said, it means car runs strong by now, and then you probably will see the difference. You will see the videos too. I boosted this car for 20 psi, and I think 60 to 130 the pump guys got the best I had. It was 12 with the cam gear issue, because I can't rev the engine over 7,000. It's right away give me the code. But this engine and had built for like 8,000 RPMs easy, long as the supercharger, you know, can survive with that RPMs. We're gonna try to rev like 7,800. See what happens, you know. So yeah, so there is the thing. If somebody planning to swap the heads from pre-facelift car, so yeah, that's the way you may have to go. I think somebody mentioned this before, and I thought actually it's just the software wise it's gonna be an issue, because I know physically cams they look same profiles and everything, just the adjusters difference. That was the main thing. I didn't realize it. All right, peace. All right, so oil cooler installed. It's pretty big radiator, should be plenty for racing, whatever you want to do. and here's the sandwich, not the sandwich, it's adapter. So we eliminate the cooler. We bypass this one over here, and that's it. Run the hoses through here, right in the front of it and the bottom. I think it's the best spot. All right, looks good.